Hi, this is Dr. Susanna Bozzoni, and my question today is, should we all go get some Ozempic? Or one of its friends, Wegovy or Mounjaro or whichever GLP-1 agonist that you've got a hankering for today, should we all be on it? Because about 75% of Americans are overweight or obese. So maybe we should just stick this stuff in the water, maybe that would help. Well, let's talk about that, because before you get on that bandwagon, and I'm not saying that nobody should take this medicine, there are some people that this might be beneficial for, but let's really understand what the side effects and what the data shows. Because so the step 1 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that we lose maybe between 10 to 15% of our body weight by 68 weeks. Okay, so that might be about $16,000, give or take. And if we stop it, because around 60 to 68 weeks is when it seems to plateau and stop working for those people that it did work for. And if we stop the medication, what have the studies suggested? That we're going to gain the weight back, at least 2/3 of the weight back. But let's talk more about that, because what's the weight that we lost? So if we lost 10 to 15% of our body weight, did we lose just fat? Well, no, unfortunately, what the data suggests so far, and it's a little bit cloudy because a lot of these studies are not checking body composition. They're only checking how much weight you're losing. But what some of the studies and the small subsets of the larger studies, like the step 1 trial, was looking at body composition in a small subset of those, and they lost up to 40% of lean mass. And that's far more than what we want to lose, because losing that's what we want to keep and maintain, right? We want to lose the fat and maintain the muscle. But by losing that good lean mass, we're setting ourselves up for worse problems if we do when we do gain the weight back, right? Because at about 68 weeks or so, and whenever this plateaus and we're, thousands and thousands of dollars in the hole, maybe not you, but certainly our government is getting more and more in the hole for treating or trying to treat the environmentally normal nutritional state that has been driven by subsidized foods, by the processed food industry, by these issues that have changed real whole food to something that drives overweight and obesity as now our norm. How are we going to fix that with a pill? Or an injection, I should say, or whatever? It's got to be fixed environmentally. We have the power to do that and the knowledge to do that, but to recognize that there are other risks. So in addition to gaining the weight back, or at least 2/3 of the weight back once you stop it, we've got some besides the other mild nausea and diarrhea that's common in at least 50% of people that take these things, and the fact that we just don't really enjoy food anymore. Well, food should be enjoyed, right? So there's all that stuff. But then there's, hair loss in about 5% of people, and the Ozempic face, rapid aging because we've lost some of the fat plumpiness that makes our face hopefully pretty or plumper or healthy looking. But in addition to that, we've got to look, there's thyroid cancer. More thyroid cancer of this rare medullary type thyroid cancer. So maybe that's not a huge deal, but just so you know the stats on that, these medications increase all kinds of thyroid cancer by about 58%, and medullary thyroid cancer, which is rare given, but by 78%. And so that's no joke. And so it's contraindicated in people with risks of medullary thyroid cancer, or MEN2, which is a syndrome that increases that. So that might be important. But also, let's talk about some of the not as uncommon side effects that are GI related. Because one study that was published in JAMA showed, and it was comparing this medication to another weight loss drug, which is bupropion and naltrexone combined. And it found a 909% increase risk of pancreatitis compared to this other medication, a 422% increased risk of bowel obstruction, and a 367% increased risk of gastroparesis. And so this makes sense because it's slowing or delaying the gastric emptying. So it's affecting the function of your gut, but things could potentially not work so well. And if they don't work so well, as in pancreatitis, bowel obstruction, or gastroparesis, all of these and other things that really affect this can be deadly. These are not like just a joke or a light thing. And certainly that's a large percent increase of the likelihood of that happening. And we want to take that seriously. So don't just be throwing these things around, but maybe what we should look at is addressing the root drivers that don't have adverse side effects, that aren't telling you to be basically imprisoned and take a medication for the rest of your life out of fear of regaining the weight because it's not addressing what's causing the weight gain. So let's do that. Let's empower ourselves to do that through communities, through our families, through rebuilding our infrastructures with urban gardens, with local farms, with eating whole foods and making it accessible to everybody that needs it. And maybe eventually talking about how we could stop paying the subsidized food industry and the processed food industries and how they can stop paying our government and reinforcing this sick system that we have right now. That's a bigger conversation, but let's find power. Let's really do what we can do to address the root drivers without these adverse side effects, but rather with things that will long-term improve our health. Just an idea. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you get some power from this message today. And yes, let's do this in a way that's healthy. Let's make it the norm and the easy option to eat the healthy food, to live the healthy life. We can do this, but we have to do it together because it does take a lot of work to redefine what has become the norm. All the best to you.